This was a very disappointing beginning to the 2021-2022 New York Rangers campaign. And this Rangers Capitals game was definitely highly anticipated for many reasons. And I think that a lot of it was always kind of overblown based on last year having with Tom Wilson, this and that. But I guess deservedly so. And it was really a matter of how the Rangers handled it. And I think that they didn't want it to be a distraction. And this was, if this had been any other game, I think maybe it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Like again, it's an 82 game season. It is a long season. The Rangers did not play well in the home opener in the opening game last year against the Islanders. They did not play well, and in this one they were good. I felt like they were good maybe for the first 10 minutes. Sure, if you want to say the first period as a whole, yes, that's fine. And parts of the second, but the second half of the game they were completely shit. But I think the bigger issue here is the Rangers, I think, made some questionable decisions during the offseason. I think they definitely addressed something that needed to be addressed, and that was definitely being a tougher team to play against. I think there's no question they needed to do that. But again, I still hold the belief that I think John Davidson and Jeff Gorton knew that they needed to do that. So Chris Drury was the one that made these decisions, and so they bring in guys like Sammy Blais and Barclay Goodrow and Ryan Reeves, Patrick Nemeth, Jared Tenorti, guys like that. And they traded away Pavel Buchnevich, which I still am not a fan of. Although, I like Sammy Blais from what I've seen in the preseason and what I saw in this game. I think he definitely is someone that could be a very useful player for the bottom six. But the makeup of the team, could this all work well? Yes. And I think it's going to take some time. Whenever there's a new head coach, it always will take time. So with Gerard Gallant, this won't be a quick fix. However, the Rangers in recent years have gotten off to slow starts. They need to make sure they don't do that. And this game one here was exactly what you didn't want against a division rival. This was a nationally televised game. This is actually the first regular season game ever on NHL on TNT. So this is what not just the local fan base saw, but everyone. And I did not love the way that they played. I thought they came out strong. They came out ready. But I think that with what's happened lately, obviously you trade away Buchnevich, and now the news about Vitaly Kravtsov, that's not good. The fact that Kravtsov is, pretty much on the outs. Again, we'll see what happens, but it looks like Vitaly Kravtsov has played his last game as a New York Ranger, and that's very disappointing. I think this was someone who I think we being Ranger fans, that he could be someone that could really be a major contributor, young, but, promising, a lot of talent, a lot of upside. And I liked what I saw from him last season. With that being said, there was a lot to work on, and I don't love the fact that he didn't take the demotion well, and there's been issues in the past. So I blame the organization for the handling of Kravtsov, but I also blame the player for, not really handling adversity well. That's not what you want to see. But now it's different situations, but back-to-back years, 2017, 2018, your top 10 picks, Lias Andersson and Vitaly Kravtsov, it ends up being a very similar situation where Andersson ends up being traded to the Kings for a second-round pick in Will Culley, who may end up being a good player. We'll see. But you may have gotten something there, luckily. And Kravtsov, I think you can still get a good return. But the point is that with Andersson, I question what his ability even is. Kravtsov is different. I think Kravtsov can be a really good player in this league. So with Andersson, I just think it's I kind of lost faith in him. And whereas with Vitaly Kravtsov, I think that whoever gets him might be getting a really good player. So that's not good. You don't want to, and this was obviously not the Rangers' intent, but this all goes back to what this lineup was in this game. and you had the likes of, and I'm all for, you shouldn't, get ice time based on where you were drafted. If you've earned it, you've earned it. I'm all for that. That's all well and good. But, Jarrett Norty plays over Nils Lundqvist. Like, that should not be happening. Whoever that might be. Like, Jarrett Norty should not be playing. Like, let's say Zach Jones is on the team. Norty should not be playing over Jones. Let's say, Braden Schneider, if he came of age and he made the team. Like, I'd rather see Lundqvist. Sure, will Tenорdi, will there be spots where he wants Tenordi in? Sure. But for the first game of the season, get your best lineup in. Don't try to, put this tough lineup out there. Get your best guys. And that goes with the goalie too. Why is Alex Georgiev starting opening night? I know it's a back-to-back situation. They played Dallas in game 2, home opener, and Shesterkin will definitely be starting that game. But if you're going to split him up, let Shesterkin get that first game. He just signed a big contract. He's clearly the number one. Why are you starting Georgiev? That was a surprise to me. Plus, Georgiev has had shit numbers in his career versus the Capitals, and Shesterkin's had good numbers. That was perplexing. I'm sorry. And there was one time where you would roll with your starter back-to-back. It's the first 2 games of the year. It's this big Capital game and your home opener. Go Shesterkin in both. Or if you're not going to go with them both, like I said, you got to go with them in the first game. There's something to be said for that. And so you end up putting out guys like Tenordi and Reeves, and you're not playing players like Lundqvist, like Julien Gauthier, like a Vitaly Kravtsov who didn't even make the team. I don't love that. I do have a problem with that. I understand, yes, this lineup does work in certain matchups, this being one of them, but I just don't like the precedent it sets. And it really didn't prove all that beneficial. The Rangers took a lot of penalties. The Capitals had 6 power plays, and they scored on 3 of them. So special teams was a problem in this game, for sure. The Rangers' ability to score was a problem in this game, and that could be true. I think the Rangers, when they get in their groove, they'll be able to score. They have the offense to do it, but you did lose. You've lost some offensive punch. I mean, again, with Buchnevich, with potentially Kravtsov, even a guy like Colin Blackwell, who scored a bunch with the Rangers last year. I think you've lost a little bit of offense, and you've turned that into a little bit more grind and a little bit more toughness. But hopefully that all materializes the right way. But I think that the Rangers making the playoffs this year, that will not be easy for many reasons. When you just look at the Eastern Conference, do I think the Rangers are a top 8 team? I'd probably lean no. And I would still be saying that even if they won this game. They're right on that borderline. They should be a bubble team. Could they make it? Yes. Could they miss it? Yes. And their Band-Aid is making the playoffs, so we'll see what happens. But as far as this game, the Rangers, I felt like, did get off to a good start. They were the better team without question, the first half of that first period. But what ends up happening is Trevor Van Reen, it was a high-sticking penalty on Hendrix Lapierre, who ends up getting his first NHL goal in his first NHL game. He would high-stick Filipino, and the Rangers would not score on that power play. What I don't love about the power play is this, and we're going to go into a little bit more of a deeper dive in this episode, just, because it's the first game. The fact, and it's not anything against him specifically, but it's just sort of the way it is. Ryan Strome should not be on that first power play unit. It's way too right-handed heavy. You already have Fox, you already have Panarin, you already have Zibanejad, and now you had Strome. It's 4 righties and then the lefty and Kreider. I would make the swap Strome for, let's say, Kakko, or if Lafreniere, reached that point. But I think Kakko is a little bit more ready. I would flip Strome because that second unit is too left-handed heavy with Hedl, with Kakko, Lafreniere, and I believe it was either Goodrow or Sammy Blais, who got, I think it was more so Sammy Blais, who was on that second unit, more so than Barclay Goodrow. Goodrow might have been on maybe for the face-off. I think I saw him. He might have been on there for the face-off. But the Rangers do not score on that first power play. And then it is a penalty by the new Ranger, Patrick Nemeth, the slashing penalty, and the Capitals do score. And it would be a goal by TJ Oshie in front. Sort of a greasy goal. Gallant spoke highly of Georgiev after the game. I did not think Georgiev looked sharp. This game is not on him. You score 1 goal, you're not going to win most nights. But I did not love the way Georgiev looked. He never seemed comfortable. There was a goal that was scored that would have made it 2-0 in the first, but it was ruled offside. So technically Georgiev really gave up like 6 goals. So, the Rangers are down 1-0, and I thought the Capitals, as that first period went on, they were the better team already. Gerard Gallant tries to make it seem like it was the first half of the game. Not quite. To me, really, the first 10 to 12 minutes of the game, the Rangers were the better team. Then after that, it was pretty much all Capitals. And a lot of penalties along the way. Chris Kreider takes a slashing penalty at the end of the period. And Kreider, you're going to hear from me a lot this season. I know he scored in this game. It's what he does. He will get power play goals. It's the one thing that he will do. But I'm very glad that Chris Kreider was not handed that captain C. And, just another undisciplined penalty by Kreider. An unnecessary slash. He's done it his whole career. I think he's in a role that is too high for what he deserves, but the way you paid him and the contract you gave him, it kind of fits that bill, but he doesn't deserve it. For example, I would have rather Kravtsov been in the role that Kreider's in. And look, will he score his goals? He will. He won't score 30 though. Never have. Even if he comes close, he won't do it. He'll get hurt or he'll just go on a cold spell. He is what he is at this stage in his career. But the Rangers do kill that off. They get a power play early in the second. They don't score. And then Lafreniere takes a tripping penalty in the second. And I didn't love Lafreniere's game tonight. I didn't think he looked good. I didn't think that Zibanejad – there was really, honestly, most lines. I guess the Hedl, Goodrow, Blais line had some decent shifts. I thought that line was halfway decent. But yeah, the Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Kreider line did not like it at all. I would be surprised that line ultimately works. You have Kreider playing on the right wing, which he's not used to. I don't love that line at all. So basically here, it's that penalty by Lafreniere, and you get a power play goal by Justin Schultz at 12:38 in the second. And that would be Ovechkin's second assist. He assisted on the Oshie goal. So 2 assists for Ovechkin and Kuznetsov at that point. It's a very good Washington power play. And Kakko was on the second unit with Zibanejad, and I like giving Kakko a chance, but that's a major downgrade. Buchnevich last year, who hadn't killed penalties before that, was a major, major positive for that PK with Zibanejad as a duo. And they're trying out Kakko on the second unit. That's a heavy responsibility, and I don't know I could absolutely see him becoming good at that, but right now it didn't look great tonight, and the penalty kill did have its issues. But the problem was they couldn't stop the bleeding, as 24 seconds later, it's the first goal of his career for Hendrix Lapierre. And it was a play where, Tenorti did not look good on that play. I'll be surprised if he's in the lineup against the Stars. But Lapierre makes it 3-0, and not a great goal by Georgiev either, that one. And it ends up being 3-0 going into the third. There would be some penalties both ways that were killed off, but in the third, early, Sammy Blais takes a cross-check penalty, and that's, and that also not a great penalty by Blais, going a little over the line, and right away, it is Ovechkin with a power play goal. So his third point of the night, and that makes it 4-0. Then later on, it would be a power play for the Rangers as Dmitry Orlov takes a cross-checking penalty. And the Rangers would score. It would be at 9:13, Chris Kreider from Strome and Fox would get the assists. And that makes it 4-1. Whoop-de-doo. And then to add insult to injury, Barclay Goodrow, who really a very nondescript first game for Goodrow. I didn't think he was anything special, but, we'll have to see how that goes. But at 9:57, he takes a high sticking penalty, but then TJ Oshie trips out of box. So it's 4-on-4 play. As the Goodrow penalty ends, it's technically a shorthanded goal for Alex Ovechkin. Second goal of the period, fourth point of the game. Kuznetsov gets his third assist, so a shorthanded goal. So again, the special teams was awful in this game for the Rangers, as the Caps go 3 for 6, Rangers go 1 for 5, and it was a good first period by the Rangers, but after that, the Capitals just took it to them. I mean, the Rangers were outshooting the Capitals at one point, I want to say 13-6, something like that, and it completely flipped. The Capitals, took that shot advantage lead by the time the second period ended. Rangers really, this was not a good game. There's not much else to say, but there's reason to be, frustrated, and there will be a lot of ups and downs. Let's keep in mind this is the first 82-game season that we'll have, assuming everything goes to plan, right? I guess you never know, but in a few years, obviously COVID shortened that 2019-2020 season. So it will be a long season. You can't get too high, can't get too low, but not happy with this. And it'll be big that in their home opener, that the Rangers, in a back-to-back situation, are able to, play better against the Stars. It'll be the Stars' first game of their season. They'll be pumped up, but Shesterkin will be in net. I would expect, just guessing, that Lundqvist will be in for Tenorti. And I would not be surprised if Gauthier is in for probably Hunt, would be my guess. That would be logical, because I don't think you're taking out Ryan Reeves. I mean, it would either be Ryan Reeves or Hunt, but I think it'd be Hunt. So a little more scoring punch, a little more talent infusion, and we'll see what happens. But I'm not happy about this, but I'm going to wait to really go off, depending on how this home opener goes against the Stars. So we'll see what happens. But again, Rangers lose to the Caps on opening night, 5-1.